everyone. I'm going to show you how to sow some seeds today. Before we start though, I'm going to show you what you need. So these are the type of things you can actually sow now. We're in the month of May. We have over here dwarf French beans. We have peppers, courgettes, broccoli, spinach, lettuce. These here are winter veg, and believe it or not, they get sown in May, so that you have winter cabbage, winter broccoli, winter cauliflower and things like that. This one over here is fennel. It was saved last year. Believe it or not, you can save your own seeds in the garden, put them into a little packet, put the date on it and put what it is. Don't forget to label if you're saving your own seed. So we're going to sow those today to show you that you can actually save your own seed and save a bit of money while you're doing it. So once you decide what you're sowing, make sure you have containers. You've got small seed tray over here. You've got little pots. These are saved, right, and washed, and we're going to reuse them. And believe it or not, this is a strawberry container, and the reason why it's so good is it has holes in it for drainage and it has a lid on it, right? All we need to do is take off that sticker. So today I'm going to show you how to sow some dwarf beans into a pot. These dwarf beans are dark. You might just get light coloured ones. They're usually white, but they're all the same. They'll give you the dwarf beans that you want. We're going to put 3 of these into a pot. The pot is over here. Now, I wet the compost. A lot of people wet the compost before you start, because if it goes in dry into the pot, what you'll notice is that the level will drop when you water it. So wet the compost, fill your pot like that. You can get another pot then and just tap it down. That's what you're going to do. Tap it down until you get the kind of the level. It should be just up to that line in the pot. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make 3 holes, 1, 2, 3. We're going to drop in our seeds, 1 into each. Now this is something I do just as a backup. I put a 4th seed in. If all 4 grow, if they all grow, we take out the weakest one. I know, seems like a waste. Now, there it is. Last thing we do, and don't forget to do this, label. So you need a pencil. Don't forget your implements. You need labels. And you need a pencil. The reason I use a pencil is so that we can rub it out at the end of the season and reuse our plastic, because we are trying to be aware of our environment and recycle as much as we can. So I'm going to write down dwarf. Of course, I'm doing this one-handed, so it's slipping away. Beans, and don't forget the date. Today's the 15th of May 2020. That goes into the pot. Okay, a few weeks time, about 2 weeks time, you should have this. Okay, there's that little 4th one there. That'll probably come out, but we have 3 lovely plants in the pot and they go out. So here are 2 more seeds that we can sow at this time of the year. It's May, so it's late spring or early summer. One is lettuce. You need to be sowing that about every 3 or 4 weeks if you want lettuce right through the summer. And the other one is winter cauliflower. So now is the time to be sowing all your winter brassicas. The brassicas are the cabbage family, and they include cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and cabbage. So to start with, we're going to use this tray I was showing you earlier on. It's a fruit punnet. It has holes in it. You can see the holes there for drainage. I've taken this lid, which I had in the press, and that's going to go underneath it. So when it's sitting on the windowsill, there won't be any spillage. The windowsill won't get stained with the water coming out of the tray. And the last thing that's very handy with this fruit punnet is the lid. Now I've removed the sticker, but again you can see there's holes, and that serves for ventilation. So to get started, we're going to fill this tray. Just move that out of the way. We're going to fill this tray with compost. Now I told you before that I wet the compost before I start. Now it's not too wet. There's still a kind of a springiness in the compost. You should be able to press it down, and there's a little bit of spring back. So it's not soaking wet, it's damp. Okay, so we'll put in about that much, because what we want to do is reduce the level so we can put in our seeds. Now in order to do that, I use a little wooden block. So this is what you need to have handy. Press the wooden block down. Now if you don't have a wooden block like this, don't worry too much. What you can do is you can get one of these pots and you can use it like this. So you're not squishing it right down, you're not compacting it completely, you're leveling it you're compacting it just slightly. So I'm going to show you two methods. One is broadcast method and one is direct sow method. Before we continue, I just want to show you the back of a seed packet. The back of a seed packet is a really important source of information. If you can see here, this is the guide to when you can sow and when you can harvest. They're the months of the year. The green line is all the months that you can sow. This is lettuce. And the orange line is when you start harvesting. So if you sow at the beginning of March over there, you can see that you'll be starting to harvest your lettuce at the beginning of June, right? And so on. So you can actually have lettuce right up to the end of October, actually to the start of the frosts. So at the top, you've got the name of your lettuce. You've got the calendar, you've got the sowing dates, the instructions, and of course you have the organic symbol because this is organic seed. Okay, that's a symbol that represents organic seed. I go for organic seed because I'm environmentally friendly. I try and support the environment in any way we can. So, instructions. It says here March to July every 4 weeks. It says put it straight in the ground. You can do drills straight in the ground and it saves on compost. Again, that's very environmentally friendly. But for some people, you may not have an outdoor seed bed and you'll be growing these on in pots. And for that reason, I'm showing you how to get these started easily in the kitchen window. The second reason is we are plagued with snails and slugs. And this is a great way to get them off to a good start. Snails and slugs have a tendency to eat them, mow them down when they're just coming up out of the soil. So we'll carry on now. So I'm going to take this packet of seeds and we're going to open it up and I'm going to show you what's in there. So in this packet of seeds, if you read down here at the very bottom, you'll see it says it has 400 seeds. That's plenty of lettuce. Oh my goodness, this packet of seeds will last you a couple of years. 2 years really. What I'm doing here is emptying out the seeds. It's a white seed. Sometimes lettuce seed is a black seed, but this little white seed I am now going to broadcast. So when you sprinkle something like this, when you sprinkle seeds on top, it's called broadcasting. So I'm just taking the couple of seeds like this from the packet. Normally I'd be putting it into the palm of my hand, but I have the camera in the palm of my other hand. So I am just sprinkling on a few seeds. Now not too many, because these are all going to come at once. They're all going to come at the same time and you definitely won't be eating that many lettuce. So if you sow that many lettuce, it's for giving away. Right, so that's broadcasting lettuce. Now I've already written out my little label. It's really important to write out labels. It's so easy to forget what you've sown. So I've written out the name, which is lettuce, the variety, which is little gem. See that? It's a beautiful tiny little lettuce, easy to eat, crunchy, delicious lettuce, all around favourite, and the date, 15th of May, right, 2020. In that goes, which means I have half a tray left for doing something else. So into that now I am going to do the cauliflower. There's the tiny cauliflower seed. It's dressed with a white clay, so it's coated in a white clay, and that's so it's easily seen. What we're going to do now is we're not going to broadcast this. We're going to direct drill this. So we're going to sow it directly into little holes in the compost, and I'll show you how to do that. So this implement is called a dibber. It's a great implement for taking cuttings, for sowing seeds. We're going to use a dibber, but if you don't have a dibber, your finger will do. So what you're doing is you're putting in holes and they're only going in about half an inch down. Do you see the way these holes are going in? I'm doing them in a kind of it's like a number 6 on a dice. I'm just repeating that. They're just going across like that and back like that. So I have about 12 holes done here, and that's to give each seed space to grow when they get bigger. Now I have the seeds over here, so I'm just going to drop one into each hole. So that's it now, one into each hole. And the last one in there. I take my little block of wood, do you remember that? And we just cover in those holes, and don't worry about covering the holes too much, and definitely don't cover up those seeds, those lettuce seeds, because they love a bit of light. And when you water them later on with the watering can, it'll kind of settle those seeds into the soil. I don't generally cover up lettuce seeds. I just leave them sitting on the top of the compost. Right, and then my other label. Again, this is a recycle label. I just rub out, because I'm using a pencil, I can rub out the old name and I can put on the new name. So keep that in mind when you're doing any bit of gardening. Try and recycle as much as you can. So the reason I'm putting down the labels there now is because I want to put on the lid like that, and that can go and sit on my windowsill. So that's my kitchen windowsill. It's facing south, which means the sun comes in. The temperature inside here is about 18, 19 degrees, which is ideal. 18 to 20 degrees is exactly the temperature you want for seeds to germinate as quickly as possible. So I'll leave them in here until they germinate, and when they do, I'll transfer them into tiny little pots, and that process is known as pricking out.